Hello Movie Club, my name is Chambers Giblin, and today I watched The Intouchables, and I have to tell you, it blew me away. I thought for sure by the end of the movie it was going to turn into some type of heartfelt drama with some terrible, abysmal ending that was going to leave me in tears, coddling in my bed in the fetal position for the rest of the day, but it didn't, and I love that it didn't because it has such amazing heart. This movie... It's so happy it makes you want to cry. It's an amazing story about friendship between a man who seemingly has no happiness left in his life and the man who brings it to him. Everything from the way it's filmed to the actors, which are incredible, to the all the music is just impeccable. From the classic music that he gets played to try to convince Driss that there's some type of meaning in culture, but to Earth, Wind and Fire being blasted while they're driving the Tesla away from the cops. It's amazing. There's so many moments in this movie that you just want to scream, hell yes. The whole story is based on the relationship between Philip and Driss, which I'm probably not pronouncing that right because they are French, but the most entertaining part of the entire movie is just the joy that Driss brings to this entire family of people in this house. Not only between him and Philip, it's between him and all the other housekeepers and all his other help around the house. He just brings such an atmosphere of joy. It's this one guy coming into an abysmal situation, just a sad, depressing environment, and he makes the best out of it. He's just an incredibly optimistic person. The entire time I was either freaking out because I thought that Philip was going to fire him over some uncomfortable joke, or I was laughing my ass off about the situations that Driss puts this guy in, where they're running away from the cops or they're smoking weed in Paris, and the just interaction in between these two, it's so heartfelt, and there's never a dull moment when they're chilling out together. They get sad every once in a while, but they always bring it back to the comedy, and that's what I love about this movie, is that through and through it's entertaining. It's a heart story, it makes you connect with those characters, and it makes you love them, and right when you think you're going to get torn apart, they come right back together. And that's what's great about this movie. It never lets down. It always brings the optimism out, and that's why I think it's so amazing, is because all these movies these days go downhill and they're sad at the end, and they always have, there's no good ending anymore, or there's no happy ending anymore, and that's what this movie is. It's the happy ending, and it's a true story, which I love. Some of my favorite parts of this movie is when you really see the characters connect, like when Driss is joking about Philip having no control over his arms or legs, and he does this many times in the movie, and it just makes you kind of uncomfortable because Philip doesn't show any emotion until the last moment, just to make the audience, especially me, but I just felt so uncomfortable until I saw Philip break out in a smile. Like when he was when Driss was shaving his depression beard and just put on the Hitler mustache, I thought for sure that was like crossing the line for Philip, because he just didn't show any happiness, or he didn't laugh or smirk at all when he got it, until he started yelling in German and he broke out in a huge smile. And there's some of those moments where you just see these characters connect on a whole next level, which is, it's heartwarming. It's something that's very special, and I don't see it in any other film, or I haven't seen it in any other films. I love the type of movies that take a specific character type and puts it in a completely opposite situation than it should be in. Driss, who's this guy from a rough background who doesn't have any obligation or responsibility, he just likes to smoke cigarettes and weed with his friends and hang out on the street corner, and puts him into taking care of a paraplegic, which is a full-time job if I've ever heard of one. And just the way he handles it is amazing, because it shows just how much heart can be put into a job like this. Where I love the interview scene where they're talking about, all the interviewees are talking about all their credentials, how they've, studied at every other university, and they have all these things that should get them the job, and then Driss comes in and he makes jokes, and it's almost uncomfortable how he starts joking about Philip's condition, and that's what lands him the job, because he sees that you're going to be spending the rest of your life with this person, or a long amount of time with this person, and who wants that boring guy to just be a spoon for you to feed you? The storyline is great. They focus everything on this relationship between these two guys, and I love that. They could have gone an entire different route and shown all the drama in Driss's family and his family life, but they keep that very hush-hush. They show it because it's a big part of how he is, but the entire focus of the story is the entertaining relationship between this old guy and this young criminal, I guess. And I love types of movies that bring you to be rooting for the underdog, and that's what this guy is he's the guy who nobody thinks is gonna make it. In closing, this was an amazing film. I definitely recommend it for everyone in the family. Every single person needs to see this movie. It's heartfelt, it'll make you cry, it'll make you laugh. It's an amazing, amazing film. I honestly enjoyed it. It's extremely entertaining, it's funny, it's heartfelt, and you'll fall in love with these characters. I promise that.